y'all can hear us, because last time
I'm getting in the habit of always clicking that.
Yeah.
So I know.
All
There's
right.
a checklist of stuff to do.
Oh, here we go.
And that's one of them.
Oh, to do that?
Yeah, that microphone. So you want just like we're Milli Vanilli. Is it Milli Vanilli?
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Is it?
Remember back in the day,
God,
Milli
I can't.
Vanilli?
Remember when people was making a big deal about somebody lip syncing until they realized everybody lip syncs.
Yes. Then what's her name? Mariah Carey do it at one
everybody
of the
lip
shows.
syncs. Everybody.
Not everybody.
Who don't lip sync?
There's some entertainers that do not lip sync.
I don't know.
There are some. I'm sure if anybody watching, chime in and put some names
Anyone that don't lip sync or haven't lip sync, maybe at an event or something.
Because there's some entertainers who do live. They just got to do live. They don't like to sing with a tape. I remember at church when we would do tapes for our praise and worship, our cousin, she never wanted to do them. She would always have me because I had a good memory. So if you are a person that follows tapes to the T, you will be good to sing along. But some people, they do live. They like to sing away from the tape, and they won't know how many rounds.
You can't just add that on a track, and they always got some guy on the piano.
They like somebody playing for them because they may go a whole different way.
But don't the piano guy follow you? So after the track is over, he just keeps going.
That's if you have somebody on the track. We didn't on the piano. We didn't have anybody there to play.
Okay.
But she would always have me do the tape.
Scooby Doo says hello, everyone. Hey Scooby Doo.
Hey.
So we working on where y'all can come in and say hi. I know I've been saying that.
We'll probably practice that this weekend. You think?
Oh, really? We'll do that. We'll practice.
Well, you
this
have
weekend?
to call some people because you need the information.
No, I mean, so we'll practice this weekend and see if
we have no choice. Once you get the information from that person,
I didn't even make sure that this was okay. All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right. So what's your first story?
My mom and I.
You talking about Big Head Gabby?
See, he might be.
Yeah, he could be an Osman.
He could be an Osman. You never know.
All right.
A cousin of a cousin, uncle, or something. I was just trying to get clarity though on this Pledge of Allegiance Sparks debate in House Committee, and somebody was slamming him. Apparently, he's going to say it, or wants to say it, or wants it to be said, or I don't know the whole premise, the background of him making his comment.
I they always say it anyway.
I know, and we can listen to him say what he's going to say, but I like the fact that he got slammed.
All right, let's see.
Committee meeting, Congressman Matt Gaetz made a proposal that didn't go all that well with Democrat David Cicilline. Take a look.
My amendment gives the committee the opportunity to begin each of its meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd like to offer an amendment to the amendment. The pledge shall not be led by an individual who supported an insurrection against the government of the United States in any way. Do you now accept the amendment?
Well, I'm concerned that you may be disqualifying too many of your own members, Mr. Cicilline.
I'm not concerned about that at all. Then agree to the amendment. Let's make this real. If you want to give someone the right to stand before the House Judiciary Committee and lead the Pledge of Allegiance, at a bare minimum, let's guarantee that that person has not participated or supported or in any way helped an overthrow of the government of the United States.
Would the gentleman yield?
It's like a simple proposition.
I also want to point out that Congress has already been saying the Pledge of Allegiance at work every day since 1988. Cicilline's amendment was shot down because they didn't want to hear that, but Gaetz ended up passing his pass without opposition. Again, it was something that already happens every day when folks walk in and they start their day. That's what they do.
Does it still count as a win if you just vote on something that's already?
I guess he wanted it on the record. Maybe it wasn't on the record that you're supposed to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
He said before committee meetings. So
maybe they don't have it written, and Big Giant Head wanted it written that you're supposed to have the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, you may find this odd, but I disagree with the Democrat guy who said something. You know why? Because they don't say anything about all of us saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and we complain, and people have done things and said that United States isn't perfect, but we still say our Pledge of Allegiance.
That's what Sonny said.
She did?
She spoke to that. She said, understand that when the Pledge of Allegiance was even put in writing, it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't us. It wasn't for our people to be involved in it, included in it, and there's still some things that are not like what Kaepernick was saying, the justice for all thing, that we're not really, we're being hypocritical as a country.
But it's supposed to be, this is what we aspire to be. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the attack on the Capitol, okay, Democrats, if that's what you're going to say, that you don't think he should say the Pledge of Allegiance, why you don't treat these people like that was treason? They don't treat them like it was treason. It's like everybody's kind of like, oh, they got upset and they stormed the Capitol and, oh, whatever happened.
Aren't they still doing that investigation and they're arresting those who need to be? Like recently, they arrested there was a gentleman, they had circled in his face in the crowd who was a fireman. He's a previous fire chief and he's part of that group too. So they're slowly but surely getting each person in that crowd.
But I'm not saying,
and the congressmen, they're probably okay with that. But
I
see what he's saying. I mean, understand the ladies did talk to the table about there is some hypocrisy, but even in our flaws as a country, in the things that we compare to other countries where we don't have it together, the freedom that we still have.
You had a freedom to even say that.
Exactly.
And in other countries,
and
you
it's a beautiful thing. So Alyssa spoke to that, and Sarah spoke to that. I love this country, even in its flaws. Right. I love this country because we have the freedom to speak up and to speak out and to speak against our leadership and not be put in jail or whatever. But I do kind of see where that congressman was going, because I don't like big head. Now, anybody else who probably was like Cruz, maybe he's thinking people like that. Cruz, and what's that lady that's for it? Those who are on the bandwagon were okay with this whole January 6th thing and the whole denial thing. Not okay with it, but the whole thing with Trump. And don't say it. You don't need to say it. Move on to the next John.
I feel like he was trying. That's why that was shot down. Because I feel like I know what you're saying as far as like in theory. Why are you saying the Pledge of Allegiance and you try to overthrow the government?
Yeah, you are.
But then they say the same thing to Kaepernick. Why should you say it? You kneel. That's what I'm saying. Just who cares? If you want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, that's fine. If you don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, that's fine. But we don't tell people when they should say it and who they should say it.
I like it because he threw shade.
Oh, yeah.
There are times when I like shade thrown at the person who's been throwing shade.
Yeah, he just wanted to make a point.
That's the only reason why. I can care less.
Yeah.
Whoopi even made a point about, really?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the Pledge of Allegiance when there's so many other things that y'all should be working and talking and voting on?
Yeah.
And I like it because he threw shade at him. Yeah, I think he had the platform to do it.
I think he wanted to do it publicly, and it's fine. Because you saw Big Head couldn't say nothing.
He smiled.
He had to smile like, what am I going to say? We tried to overthrow the government. I want us to be able to say the
denier. You're right.
I want us to be able to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I may not say it, but at least we all can say it. You know.
So that's it. That's no big deal.
I'm still
again a waste of time
with his big head cracking on the women who are standing in the crowds rallying for the abortion laws.
Still waste of time of our taxpayer money.
So he just reaped what he sowed. That's all. That's a little seed he threw out.
How about
somebody threw back at him?
How about talk about the bill that we put up because of the police officers and all of this? Talk about that instead of the Pledge of Allegiance.
But I like that. I like when they do that. Somebody caught him on camera throwing shade at him, and you heard the audience. They was clapping.
Let's see what this says. What people said on here. This clapback on Matt Gaetz is perfection. Well done.
Thank you.
How is Matt Gaetz still around? But that clapback was spot on.
Thank you.
See, that's why I said
everybody likes the shade.
It's the shade
threw at him.
Let's see. On the irony of insurrectionists, Gaetz reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Ha ha, Joy really helped herself out with humor. What, did Joy say something funny? I'll never recite the Pledge of Allegiance next to or being led by an insurrectionist. Not today, tomorrow, or ever. And why they keep calling them insurrectionists? They're terrorists.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a nicer word.
I don't like that.
Terrorists.
If those was brown people that stormed, first of all, they wouldn't have never got to the...
They wouldn't got that far.
They would have shot them down. But let's just say for the sake of argument,
them terrorists in the shoot down.
If that was some Muslims or some brown people who stormed, they wouldn't be calling them insurrectionists. They would be calling them terrorists.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't want to hear that. All right, is that it for them?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I just had to throw that out there because I love when he's been a person that has been not nice.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah. But think about it. If you're him and you have nothing else to stand on, your legacy is to be able to say, I've stirred up stuff. Mm-hmm. We know who he is. You don't know who all the other congressmen are, true. But you know him. And you know Crazy Marjorie.
Yes.
That's their whole purpose. They want to be known.
And that's why they said yesterday, DeSantis, they believe he's doing a lot of crazy.
To be known.
They were saying on the news that one of the, because the ladies even talked about the number of people that are probably going to be running for the Republican Party, and one guy they were saying
might be 50 of them up there.
Sarah said there was one gentleman, I think from Maryland, that she likes his platform, even though he's Republican, he still has he's bipartisan. He goes both sides on, and he got a lot of votes from a lot of Democrats in his area. Okay, she said, I lost my train of thought because you had made a comment and I was commenting on it. You know, that's when you're getting old, you guys, when you can't.
Mid-sentence.
He texted DeSantis about the comment that DeSantis had made about the African studies, because he said, just so you know, this is the beginning of Black History Month, and he went on to say some other things, but he secretly texted DeSantis and to let him know you need to stop this rhetoric. Yeah, so that's cool. Okay. A lot of people are starting to probably come at him for the nonsense he caused.
He don't care.
He better start caring. Because these same people can mess up his whole thing.
Yeah, he's not running. I told you, I think he's there to make Trump look better.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this, remember her, Omar? This,
she and the other girl,
Omar, whatever.
She and what's her name?
Gets the boot. House votes her off the Foreign Affairs Committee as Democrats cite racism. Omar claims she is being targeted by Republicans for being an immigrant. That's not why they're targeting you. They targeting you because
she said some stuff.
You have a big mouth, and you're
she's
just
like
you're the other side of Marjorie Greene.
She spoke something about Israel.
You said something about Israel. You talk too much.
Yeah.
You just like what's the other one? The Latino one? Otez talks too much.
Yeah,
y'all
really
young and y'all speak out of your head. Yeah. And then when people come back and attack you or say something, you wonder why. They don't like you, honey. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're a Muslim. It has everything to do with you are a radical on the other side. Right. Just like Marjorie and Giant Head are radicals on the other side. If the Democrats were in office, Marjorie wouldn't have been on any committee because they kept her off of the committee.
The sad thing about it is that I think people don't realize when they're in political positions, representing the people, whatever their role is, if they're a city official, if they're whatever level, you got to think about people beyond you.
Exactly.
You can't think just for people that think like you. And even when it comes to religion, foreign affairs.
Right.
I know how she is with foreign affairs because there's still a lot of crap going on over in Israel and the whole Middle East.
But how you going to say negative stuff about Israel?
You don't need to speak to that though.
But how you going to say negative stuff about Israel and then you think you're going to be on the foreign affairs committee?
No, Sister Sledge.
No, you got to go.
You got to go.
Now, I agree. If it's some Republicans on there that need to be kicked off, they got to go too.
They got to go too.
So the House voted Thursday to kick Minnesota Democratic Rep. Ilhan Omar, I hope I said her name right, off the House Foreign Affairs Committee, a decision that Republicans vowed to take because of Omar's history of anti-Semitic and anti-American remarks.
Thank you.
The resolution was approved 218 by 211. Gee, go figure who the 211 were. I'm sure that was all Democrats. Vote after a heated debate in which Democrats accused Republicans of racism and hypocrisy and claimed that the GOP is only policing Democrats for questionable behavior. And as if they didn't. That's what I'm saying. I hate both parties. Both parties suck to me.
Both sides.
Omar and several other Democrats openly accuse Republicans of racism. I am Muslim, I am an immigrant, and interestingly from Africa, Omar said. Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy, or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced?
Why does she not see this?
Nobody cares that you're Muslim. Nobody cares that you're from Africa.
Why don't you go on?
You just talk too much.
Go on a committee that's not dealing with foreign affairs.
Yeah, go on a birthday committee or something.
Well, no, go on a committee that deals with maybe seniors or for young kids, or school systems being better.
Yeah,
you don't need to be on foreign affairs.
Yeah,
because your foreign policies and ideology is not right.
Now, do I feel like the Republican Party is hypocritical?
Yes,
of course. But y'all are too.
Both sides.
Democrats. You guys are hypocrites as well. If you were in power, you kept Republicans off of the committee.
Yeah, those who are in power. Like any king that's in office and however that king wants to flow.
Yeah.
They did talk a little bit about on The View. Sarah and them was stressing that she's an independent. And a lot of times people don't want to be the extreme on either side. It's unfortunate, and they're going to be making changes, I heard, that if you don't have to be a party to vote in the primary.
Yeah.
Because right now you can't vote in the primary if you don't, if you're not considered one or the other.
Right.
And I don't like that. Because like my sister and I, we look at both sides. We even look at the independent party, and we look at what policies affect us, what we agree with, what we don't agree with, what's our top priorities.
Yeah.
There's some stuff on there on our list
it's
that's not that important.
That's important, but it's not my top priority.
Exactly.
So Representative Michael Guest, Republican from Mississippi, who chairs the House Ethics Committee, said Republicans are only following the roadmap previously approved by the Democratic control, which Democrats used to remove Republican members from the committees.
They're doing the same thing that Biden did when they found files at his house.
Same thing.
Come on, you guys. Be transparent.
They never will.
Follow the rules.
And you see, these are all three of them right here. This is her, Ortiz. This is the Muslim lady. What's her name? I just said her name. Omar. And that's the black woman that they just put in.
And you already know they're looking at you three.
All three of y'all.
Of another race. So please understand you're representing a bunch of people with ideals and thoughts and not just what you think and feel.
Omar also accused some Jewish Americans of having allegiance to a foreign country, which again prompted backlash among Republicans and Democrats. A month later, Omar described the 9/11 attack in the U.S. that killed nearly 3,000 people as some people did something. What does that mean? Especially egregious, whatever, to lawmakers from New York, and it's unacceptable for any member of the committee to say. Still, in 2021, Omar called Israel an apartheid state and lumped the U.S. and Israel in with Hamas and the Taliban as political entities that have committed unthinkable atrocities.
And we want you to be on the foreign committee.
No, you can't be on the foreign committee.
And it's nothing to do with your race, your religion, or anything else. It's how you think and feel about what's going on in other countries.
Exactly.
We got to be careful. So no,
I don't disagree with booting her out.
Sorry, boo.
So
you got to go.
And if you see that Republicans are not consistent and they are hypocritical, the answer is yes.
Point it out.
But the answer was the same yes when the Democrats was in party.
Thank you.
Both of y'all are hypocritical, and both of y'all don't want the other side on any committee.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing.
If any rules come down out of any side, everybody needs to follow them.
Exactly. Wendy says, hello, stars.
Hello.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
And she said, how is Tiffany going to do the sex scenes? All right, so we'll see that when we get to Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish is ready to film Girls Trip 2. I can't be concerned about what people think. That's what she said.
Wendy's question, though, what is that?
Well, let's see.
Okay.
Actor Tiffany Haddish says she's ready to get to work on the upcoming film Girls Trip 2, despite fans calling for her character to be dropped from the sequel following last year's controversy. Haddish is ready to join her co-stars on the film. TMZ caught up with the actor and questioned her about Tracy Oliver, the director of Girls Trip, announcing the film's sequel. The reporter also addressed internet users calling for Haddish's character to be replaced or written out of the film. Haddish responded sounding shocked. She continued by saying that she doesn't have an opinion on the backlash, but is excited to rejoin the cast, which includes Queen Latifah, Regina Hall, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Haddish added that she would love to be back on the film and also shared that her co-star would love it too, as they talk about the film sequel every year.
How many years ago was the first one?
It wasn't that long ago. Additionally, Haddish commented further on fans calling for her character to be removed from the film sequel. So here's my thing with her. Oh, here's
is that one when she made the movie about the kid?
Yeah, that's
child?
Tiffany Haddish.
Her and that other guy that
her
you don't like,
Big Dumbo. What's his name? I mean, Aries Spears. See, Big Dumbo. Okay, so here's my thing with Tiffany Haddish. Okay, this is what I think.
They doing her like Will Smith.
You know what? Go let her do the film. If people want to see it, they'll see it. If they don't, they don't.
See it.
But what you can't do is you can't do Girls Trip without Tiffany Haddish because she was the funniest thing in the first one.
I'm trying to figure out
what kind of movie was it without Tiffany Haddish.
I'm trying to figure out the haters, because if they feel like that movie can still move forward and be big without her, then you in dreamland. I'm sorry.
Nobody wants, and then now you also got Jada. People don't want to see Jada anymore.
Thank you.
Because of the whole Will, they feel like because of her is why Will slapped
Smith.
Chris.
Exactly.
So everybody got.
Or when Jada was having problems with the situation with her son's friend.
Yeah.
They kind of going with that.
And then you got what's her name? Queen Latifah has come out more about being gay.
Right.
And then Regina, every show she been on, she been chasing after every man. So every woman
they got some negative.
Got something negative. So I feel like if they want to see it, see it. If they don't want to see it, don't see it. But you can't have this is my opinion. You can't have a Girls Trip 2 without Tiffany Haddish.
Right, exactly. So, and there are movies out there like that where a person that was part of the cast, if they're not in there, it's going to be, they're going to be missed.
Do we cancel Tiffany Haddish or do we not cancel Tiffany Haddish? People need to make a decision. I guess here's the dun dun dun.
I just say cancel her from doing stuff.
Well, let's do the dun 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 dun. When you come on the People's Court, actress Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, you trying to do the little intro song?
The dun dun dun.
What is she dun 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 about?
Dun 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 dun. Okay. Tiffany Haddish, actress Tiffany Haddish is on trial. This is a trial. Do we cancel Tiffany or not? Let's get this over with. Tiffany Haddish has been accused of befriending a woman, right? And using her children in a video that her and Buckethead Aries Spears did, where Aries Spears did some explicit things, we feel, with the little boy in the movie, right? And Tiffany knew he was, she wasn't in the scenes, but she was part of bringing the kids there. And then she was also part of not keeping it off the air or, just not exploiting them. Even though the mom is a knucklehead and had her head up in Tiffany's butt and wanted to be famous and followed her around like a little puppy dog. We don't blame the kids for the mom being an idiot.
Exactly.
And then the mom came back and they sued at first, but then they settled and took money and said, "Oh, Tiffany didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry. We're done with this. This case is over with."
She apologized, didn't she?
And then Tiffany apologized.
So that means she did something wrong.
So she felt like, I guess she said, "I did something wrong. I shouldn't have did that."
You should have been more aware of anything you're dealing with children,
right,
and exploitation. Be really careful with that,
right?
Okay. My thing is not to cancel her. My thing is to just make sure she doesn't do anything with children.
Okay.
It's almost like
so she can't be in nothing with kids. We cancel her on that
because she actually had that show on a major network where she was kids say the darnest thing.
No, she can't do anything. This is my opinion. Okay, so we did the dun judge. Okay, so now my ruling as Judge Kim in the People versus Tiffany Haddish. She's allowed to do movies.
The deputy or something? I mean,
you brought her in.
Oh, gee.
You the bailiff.
Bailiff?
No, you as what are you? Because you didn't speak up for her. You're not the.
I don't know what I am. You make this a court thing.
Are you the prosecutor or are you the
I don't
against
know,
her?
because I'm for her.
So you're the defense.
Defendant.
You're defense. Okay. All right. Well, if you're the defense, you think she should be.
I think that she should not be canceled.
Okay.
Because there are There are projects that she's been involved with. There a phase 2 of stuff she's been in that she's very well needed, and the ratings were high because of her. Because she's a very funny person, a very good comedic actress. I just think that anything dealing with children right now, she should stay low away from.
All right, so Wendy's throwing in her comment. How is she going to do sex scenes, but her thing was sex? So are you saying because of the whole thing with the kid and all of that?
She can do a sex scene with a guy that they meet. I just don't think adult, but not any kids.
So no kids movies.
So I don't think Girls Trip involved children because it was so risque and already rated R-ish kind of thing. So I don't think she's going to have any problems with that, Wendy, as far as her having to have a sex scene, because that had nothing to do with her controversial. Her controversy was with children, showing them in a nice, not in a nice setting,
and using the mom to get the.
And she just broke up with Common, so she's ready for some action.
Oh yeah, well I think he with what's her name?
What's her name now? I'm saying she's broke up with him, so she's probably like, I'm ready for any sex scene.
Jennifer Hudson.
And
we think they are. We think they are. They was spotted at some event together or something.
I'm curious.
MC says, has Aries' career suffered much, or is Tiffany taking all the heat? Well, first of all, he ain't never really had nothing. Nobody was checking for Aries.
He felt he was.
But Tiffany took all the legal hit because Aries don't have no money.
And so she is more known than
Tiffany's
him.
more known, and she is the person that paid them off.
Oh,
Aries, I think, is MC. I think Aries is going to take more of the hit emotionally because he was in the actual scene with the kids.
Yes.
I think that's what's going to happen.
And that may kind of do a little fuzziness on his comedy shows.
He sucks anyway. Well, nobody wants to see him.
I don't know. He can't talk about kids.
He can't talk about nothing. Nobody wants to see Aries Spears. Yeah. He needs to go background now. Just go in comedy.
He's not a nice person.
Just
so
write
all this happening to him is not like a surprise.
Just write comedy going forward,
maybe.
Dude. Write for some comedians. Go on some sketch show. But nobody wants to see your giant head
on stage. Okay.
Tiffany's barely crawling back, and she's at least was out there and was in things.
Yeah.
He was already almost dead at the start line. So it's like somebody stepping on a turtle. It's like a race getting ready to start, and he's the turtle. And Tiffany's the rabbit.
There's been...
And you say start, she's gone. She's about a million meters ahead.
Funny.
He's still at the start line. We can still step on him. So that's a cockroach. So he stepped on. You're out of here, Aries. Okay. But her, you know what? People don't care if you're good. Notice that.
I still watch Bill Cosby.
People don't care if you're good. People don't care.
And listen to R. Kelly music.
Nobody cares. People still ask O.J. Simpson for his signature. And people still scream when they see O.J. Simpson.
Isn't that funny how we are?
They see O.J. Simpson. Oh, O.J. Oh, let me get a picture with O.J.
Sit there. Some people are really, really... what's the word where they take it serious? They don't support them. They don't watch. No. They don't listen to their music. They don't. I'm like, until it happens to me. Yeah, maybe we change tune.
You know what? If the mom didn't accept the plea deal, or not the plea deal, but the payoff,
those poor kids.
And if the kids that are not kids anymore, they're adults, didn't accept it, we would probably be angrier at Tiffany. But the kids took the money.
They did too?
She paid the whole family.
Because they were young.
No, not now. She paid all of them off. Because nobody's saying nothing.
Because our concern is anybody that does anything to anybody, we know that they've opened the door to that person possibly having and that should be something we should always, any of us that are, people of faith and people that understand human,
and I can't be hard
I
can't be hard on her if I'm a Michael Jackson fan.
Ooh, yeah.
Because Michael Jackson has done so many things inappropriate.
So many
I don't think he did. I don't think he went as far as what they were saying. And the funny thing about it is the FBI, and they had wiretaps on him and everything and followed him for years. And they said they don't have a case. So if the FBI don't have a case against you, I don't think he did all of that stuff. Do I think he was creepy with kids? Yes. Do I think it's appropriate for a grown man to have sleepovers?
And
have pillow fights with kids.
And here's another thing to think of, because we would want somebody to give us a second chance too. We wouldn't want nobody to write us off, but I'm so grateful that it's not man that I'm putting my trust in to keep me sane and keep me moving forward. But I don't think of it as being, if she's done something, or like Bill Cosby or R. Kelly, God forbid that was wrong. That's between them and God now. They hurt kids, and it's unfortunate.
True says, I can't listen to R. Kelly the same way anymore. Wendy says, in the first movie, she gave oral. She taught the little girl oral. Not a good look. Yeah, true.
Okay.
So in the first, that's your connection. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then True says, but his influence is in a lot of music. See, he wrote I Believe I Can Fly. He did Michael Jackson's what's the one with Lisa Marie Presley, that video that I listen to all the time that I can't think of the song. R. Kelly wrote a lot of songs that you wouldn't know it was R. Kelly unless somebody told you. Right. So if you got to throw him out, you got to throw his whole catalog out, and nobody's going to do that. I don't do that. I'm not throwing out the Cosby Show. I'm not throwing out different worlds.
Here's the sad thing too about being for hypocrisy. We got to be real careful.
It's people.
There are gospel artists that are not living right, and we're listening to their songs. Praise Jehovah, and they're having affairs. They're having children out of wedlock. They're pedophiles. They're watching porn. We're playing their music and we're praising God on it because of the message in it. Don't take away the messenger that sent it, because God will use a donkey to get his word out. So we got to really be careful, not to be with hypocrisy. Yeah. Because Kim even brought that up to me. She said, do you know this gospel artist is doing this? He's doing drugs. I'm like, ooh, but I love that song. That song takes me to the altar. It takes me to heaven.
You are Jehovah.
So that just shows that God can use whatever to have a gift that goes forth.
And pastors too.
Thank you.
And priests.
And that doesn't take away their gift of acting, dancing, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But he has.
And then how many other celebrities that we don't know what they've done in the dark?
Thank you.
And a lot of them slept with young girls, and they just haven't gotten in trouble. And y'all know some of the names. There's some very famous people out now that's shaking in their boots because they are hoping it don't come out. That there'll be another R. Kelly.
And when they pass away, it may come out then.
And some of them are billionaires, are up there in that part. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You don't even want to start on P. Diddy and all of them. So we don't even want to go with the stuff that Kanye talk too much. Kanye be telling their business.
I know.
Kanye be going in the car. Jay-Z got Hitman. Jay-Z don't touch me, Hitman. And then Beyonce's Bodyguard comes out. Y'all probably seen him all over the news.
Yes.
Saying Jay-Z does have Hitman. So it's like, and Kanye talking too much.
Oh, God.
So it's like, Kanye, be quiet, man. And you telling everybody's business.
The gifts are there. The talent is there, no matter how filthy they are.
I tell you one
dirty
thing.
They are.
That Beyonce, I wasn't going to go on the Beyonce and the Bodyguard thing.
Okay.
I was kind of listening to him and stuff. He was talking about Beyonce is, Jay-Z keeps her drugged up and all this stuff. Whatever. That's all hearsay. We don't know if it's true.
Exactly.
And I was kind of saying, well, we don't know. He could be telling the truth. He could not be, whatever. But when that dude said that the baby, the girl, the daughter,
the older one,
is not Jay-Z's, I turned him off.
That was, he had you going for a while, didn't he?
When he said that she was not Jay-Z's baby.
That little girl looks just like him.
He looked like he spit her out.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. And I don't know any other dude that looks like Jay-Z.
No.
That Beyonce was really good with.
He's not the cutest. And that, thank God for Beyonce's look to help the little girl.
But when that man said, he talked too much.
Yeah.
See, he had everybody when he was saying all the other stuff. Jay-Z got Hitman, Beyonce this, and But when he said that child was not Jay-Z's, I turned him off then. I said, dude, you going too far.
Consider the source.
Oh,
my God.
Beyonce probably had to laugh at that. Because she looked just like her. That baby looked just like her dad.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. True said, MC said, I can't listen to R. Kelly either. A child predator, exactly that, even if they're 14 or 17. True. MC said, didn't know that, Wendy. In the first, about the oral thing. Okay. They talk. Y'all having conversations with each other. Mm-hmm. True says, okay, just for conversational purposes, would you still attend a church that had a similar scandal, or would you feel different? That's a good question.
We went to a church that had a scandal.
Not like that, though.
It wasn't we don't know.
What do you mean?
It wasn't a scandal that got out, but we didn't know what was going on behind the doors.
No, about him doing similar to Tiffany and all of that. We didn't have that kind of scandal.
What do you mean? I'm missing the question.
Messing with kids or something.
It wasn't our leadership.
Oh, that's what she's talking about.
It did happen at our old church.
Yeah, but she's saying...
And they let him still work there.
She's saying the pastor. I did at True Blue and grew up in a church like that. SB said. And then True said, wow, SB, did you still attend? Did the offender stay in the ministry?
Yeah.
And Wendy said, a gift comes without repentance.
Yes.
SB said, I had to attend. It was my church. He was still a preacher when he died.
Because there was one of my old ministries that I wanted to leave because a lot of people were exiting because of a lot of stuff that was going on in the ministry. And it wasn't all good. And we know no church is perfect. Everybody keeps saying church is like a hospital. You're going to have sick people there. Sick people got to come in so they can get healed and help. And everybody there is not perfect. That's why we need Jesus, because we're human in flesh and we're sinful, whatever. And we need his blood to keep us going. But there was mess going on, and I wanted to sit down. I wanted to go. I wanted to leave. God said no.
You had to stay.
He told me to stay. I stayed another year, and I'm glad I did, and I know why God told me to stay.
I guess you got to go by what you feel that God is telling you to do.
It was mess,
because
but I stayed.
Sometimes if you leave, maybe a few months or later or whatever, God sits that person down anyway, and they out of there. So you didn't left, and God had already...
I'm letting God be the judge of all the messiness that does go on in ministries and churches. But
I would use more of... I would have to think about it because that's my spirit. If I'm going to a church, I feel like they are supposed to be mentors. It's like even a mentor. Or like if you went to a psychiatrist and you found that they was a nut job in real life.
I know.
Would I still go to that psychiatrist? It's like, do I really want you to tell me how I'm supposed to be living or whatever? So I don't know. I think that's different than entertainment. I think entertainment is different because, like you said, if somebody's coming to play or sing or dance, I don't need to know your whole life. Just dance and get off the stage.
I don't need to know who you slept with before you came to sing that song.
But Wendy's point, too, if you're doing something in the movie that you did in real life, that's eerie, too.
How long did we watch Bill Cosby before it came out about him?
But it was
we love Bill Cosby, and to this day I still watch Bill Cosby.
But on the Cosby Show, he wasn't slipping women Mickeys.
Well, of course not.
That's what I'm saying.
But when he went home and he left Claire Huxtable,
let's say in one of his movies, he played a character that did that. Ooh, see, that's a little eerie there. It's too close to home. Yeah. So I guess to sum this up with Tiffany, what type of role is she going to come back as? I think, again, I wouldn't even put her in a scene with a kid. No. If the women come back later and they have kids, because this is later on, I'm thinking, I wouldn't even put her in the same, Auntie, if Auntie such and such here, she should yell from the other room.
Oh, stop.
Don't even come in the scene.
Not even on the same scene.
Not on the same scene, not on the same set, not on the same atmosphere of any kid.
Wow.
She should be in the washroom on the toilet if all three women are in the room talking with their families. Yeah. They should hear her from the outside going, hey, y'all, I'll be in there in a minute. That's it.
Because what do they say to she's not, I don't think thank God she's not listed as a pedophile, but we know when you are on that register list.
You can't be near kids anyway.
But the sad thing about that too, and this is a whole nother topic, that some kids are on the register and they doing what they've always been doing, an older guy dating a younger girl. And how many parents can come at them and go, oh, you got to you going to get arrested. Yeah. And so it's things that's gray area. And you're like, I'm sure some of y'all had some relatives where the guy was 21 or 20 and he dated a girl 16.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. But how often does that happen?
Well, Kylie Jenner. And Tyga.
Right. Oh, really?
Who don't believe they wasn't together like that?
Oh, okay.
SB said, I had to attend because it was the church I grew up in. As an adult, I left. So,
yeah.
All right, y'all. So, Tiffany Haddish, for me personally, I don't care.
Keep it moving.
I probably won't even see Girls Trip 2.
I may see it.
You will?
It was some pros and cons about it, the first one.
Yeah.
But I may see it.
I probably won't even see it.
Okay.
I'm kind of tired of her and Jada. So Jada got on my nerves with her bald head. Here's the thing. There's a lot of women who have that, but they don't make it like a big giant thing about it. They have that same disease that Jada has with the hair.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she using it as a I don't know. You know how sometimes people use things.
She's not the one because she looks good even bald.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's almost like she uses it as like, this is my thorn in the flesh that I must.
I'm a victim.
Yeah, that I must, I must go through this. This
hurting.
Thing. It's like, girl, be quiet.
Yeah, I know.
But that's me. I feel about that. And Jada was cutting her hair before that anyway.
I know.
So
Thank
who
you.
cares? Okay, so that's Tiffany Haddish. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
This is a good topic, though.
To see if what they're gonna do
when things like this happen to an artist.
Well, what about this?
Do
topic?
we write them off? What's going on here?
At Herton adopts housing plan over Steph Curry's complaints and crying residents. To sum it up, Steph Curry and his wife Ayesha Curry live in a nice neighborhood.
Okay, I'm sure they do.
That they spent millions of dollars.
I'm sure they have
to live there. They want to build a housing
community
project, probably a housing. They ain't gonna say it's a housing project, but it is because it's low income housing.
Low income housing, okay.
In the same area.
Oh Lord!
And Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry are like, no, we don't want you to do that.
Who is they wants to build?
On Tuesday evening, the political leaders in Atherton, the Bay Area town near Stanford, best known as the wealthiest zip code in the United States, reluctantly adopted a merger housing plan through 2031 that the state of California may very well reject as inadequate. Pressed up against January 31st deadline to back a housing plan, and spurred by a noticeable cranky desire to call it a day after 4 whole hours of deliberations, the city council resoundingly voted in favor of a cobbled together vision for 348 additional housing units within 8 years.
348 of them.
Mayor Bill Whitmer said Tuesday city council meeting attracted more attendees than any he could ever remember. The meeting was light on substantive discussion on community input about housing, but it did feature tearful pleas, scornful finger pointing, and the specter of Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry, who recently observed venture capitalist Mark as the neighborhood's most prominent representative of not in my backyard crowd. The Curry family's beef, first reported by the Almanac, centers on a single-family home at 23 Oakwood Boulevard, which is located near their own property. We kindly ask that the town adopts the new housing plan without the inclusion of 23 Oakwood, the Currys wrote in a letter.
I don't get it.
They don't want people coming there that if you can't afford
to live in their
neighborhood, to live in that $1 million neighborhood, they don't want people building things that housing.
Hyundai Sonata versus Honda Accord. Look what Sonata has and what Accord doesn't. Hyundai Sonata wins every time.
Let me get out of here. Okay, so they don't want them having you know what, let me just cut this. Every video is everybody playing. They don't want people to just come in there and be able to just build housing under them, in their
community. Okay.
I can't say I disagree with that.
No, I'm trying to figure out I want to be clear on what type of housing, because like some areas in the Chicago area, it's the opposite. In some of the areas that are kind of like, ooh, I don't know, beautiful townhouses and condos are being built, and they're really secure, supposedly, with the fencing and the go drive in your private garages. So that's the opposite. So is he saying in his $1 million neighborhood they're building low income housing?
Let me tell you what I don't want. If I lived in a neighborhood like he lives in, I don't want any housing like that. I don't want government housing, and I don't want apartments or condos. Guess what? When we was looking for a house, how many neighborhoods did we go in where it was a houses, beautiful homes, all the way in the back? You got to go through streets,
go through the neighborhood,
and apartments and condos is in the back, and they not kept up good. No. To me, it brings the whole neighborhood down.
When I drove through, I was on my way to Evanston, Illinois, Chicago area, along the lake. There's different cities that I go through. Beautiful houses, 10, 15, $20 million homes on Lake Shore on the Michigan. I did not see one apartment building complex, condos.
No affordable housing.
All homes.
And it has nothing to do with the people.
Right.
Because I know, you remember I dated a guy who grew up in the projects, and his mom, their house was
she took care
perfect.
of her property.
She lived in the projects in Robert Taylor Homes. And her apartment was nice, almost like the Good Times.
Yes, like Florida and James. Their house was
and they wanted to keep their house together.
And when they won that beautification,
and they made the drunk man, what's his name?
Ned DeWino.
Ned DeWino.
They cleaned him up.
And the lady who was going around the judging committee, she didn't even need to look at the house. She walked in and saw Ned.
How that cleaned up he was.
And then Florida was like, "You don't want to look at the house?"
Oh, no,
she said, "Oh no, you won." Because if anybody could clean that man up, you win.
You win.
And then he was smiling at first. And then she said, "Come on."
I want him to take him home.
She gonna take him home while he was clean. And then his went back down to being
come on, Ned. My mom still has a poker game on Wednesday nights. But they kept their place
it has
clean.
nothing to do with people.
Right.
It has everything to do with most of these places that have apartment and all this, they don't keep them up.
But don't that lower the value of the community?
And it lowers the value of your...
So Steph Curry has a point.
He has a point.
Any type of housing like that, it's going to lower the value of your property.
That's what I feel like.
You're in the $1 million neighborhood for a reason.
Multi-million dollars.
Multi-million.
I don't want apartments and I don't want condos. If I'm spending that much money on that house, I don't want people living on top of each other.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You go get a high rise. What you call those that on top of those buildings in Chicago? Those are nice. The loft.
Yeah.
Those are nice because you're with people under you, but you got the top.
I don't want people living on top of each other.
Okay.
I don't want to hear somebody yelling down the street because some guy was walking in the middle of the night over his apartment or over his condo, and the other guy has to hear it. I barely want townhomes. You barely gonna get me on townhomes.
Maybe condos?
No, I don't want condos.
Because condos are expensive.
No. You know why I don't want condos? Because remember when we was looking, a lot of these management companies buy the condos and people move in them and they don't keep up with them.
Take care of them.
No, I don't want condos.
I don't like landlords, slumlords, people that don't take care of their property.
No. So. And it also brings more people to the neighborhood. Yes. Now I got cars going up and down my street to go to some stupid condo duplex or apartment duplex. So even if they keep it up, let's say these are good people that keep up the apartments,
keep their property
and keep up the condo, you're still bringing more people in my neighborhood. Right. I'm Steph Curry.
Because you usually don't, in a neighborhood with homes, it's not that many people living in the different homes.
Yeah.
But an apartment building or a townhouse or a condo,
anybody can go up and down the street.
You have a number of people now in that one location.
Now I got 20,000 DoorDash people going down my street. Yeah. I got Uber drivers. I got taxi drivers. I got all kind of stuff. I got people walking their dogs.
Garbage trucks, more
I
garbage
got garbage.
trucks.
I got 20 million people walking their dogs past my house. And I'm Steph Curry.
Yes. Now I'm surprised.
That dog, more people will walk their dog than they've ever walked their dog if they move in Steph Curry's neighborhood.
I'm surprised that he's not in a gated community though. Is he not in a gated community? Aren't you guys thinking that too?
He should be in a gated community.
Yes. There was homes that we couldn't even get to where it wasn't gated. Obama's house in Hyde Park, that wasn't gated. But
it's not gated, but they boarded. They made it where you can't go down the street.
They have security sitting in the truck.
So how do they get people who want to go down the street then?
They know who they are. They said they know all the neighbors.
Well, what if I'm visiting somebody on that street?
You have to be on a list to come.
Well, why do I have to be on a list?
Because you live next door to Obama's house.
Right.
Yes,
that's not right. And the thing is, he's not even there.
When he is there, but they still police the neighborhood. But what's his name? Live in a gated community? Why would he care about what's past that gate?
Unless they're trying to bring condos in his gated community. I don't know.
Things that make you go,
But I agree with Steph Curry and Aisha Curry, so I don't think they're snobs.
We're probably going to hear more about this. But aren't you guys asking why, if he's in a gated community, what difference does it make outside the gate?
It might not be a gated community. It might be just his zip code, like he said. we live in a zip code that is, it has a certain prestige about it, and we don't want you to bring condos and housing.
Everybody can't have that zip code.
Yeah, now I got 16 people living on top of each other in my same zip code. That brings the value of my zip code down. Yeah. And they got kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And now before my kid went to school, and they had maybe 10 people in their class. Now they look up, it's 30 kids in the class. No, I agree with Aisha and
we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. All right, let's go back. What was y'all talking about? Wendy says, we're going back to Tiffany. Maybe they can say her character got saved.
You know what? I found Jesus. And that would be good though. That's a good idea.
It wouldn't be funny though.
But it would be funny. She can still make it funny because she'll be struggling with it. And the other ladies would be like, okay, you found Jesus, but you can still do this. They got a reality show coming on Ray's Gospel or something. It's coming. That man that you said does like Andy Cohen, that guy.
Yeah, the black guy.
He has another show coming out along the lines of
Carlos King.
Yeah,
Carlos something.
If that's his name.
Y'all
look for the advertisement, but it makes me think about her. Because the one girl said, I'm dressing sexy for Jesus. And the other girl said, what you talking about?
You said they're dating? Jesus? It's a dating show.
No, it's not a dating show.
What is it?
It says, oh God, I've got to think of the name of it. It's along the line of gospel, like raised gospel or going gospel.
It's people's kids who are gospel.
I don't know. No, I don't know. If these are people.
That's actually not a bad show.
But it's a reality show that's coming on, and I think it's something along the lines of their background is gospel.
Because they got growing up hip hop, which is the kids of hip hop artists.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be a bad thing to say growing up gospel.
It's something like that.
It's probably growing up gospel.
But I see her as that character, like still struggling with the flesh thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying,
or
y'all, I
PK
can't
Kids.
do that. I can't do
PK
that.
Kids is a good one. That's a good one.
Okay,
so we'll see how that would go. Wendy says that would be hysterical. Wendy says maybe they can have her character get saved. That would be hysterical. SB said love it. True says, well, I live near a well-to-do suburb, and they don't want apartment buildings either. I agree.
Carlos King. Grown and gospel.
Grown and gospel.
That's a reality show coming out now. And I didn't understand the background of it. Like, when they mean by grown and gospel, like, are they were Christians when they were young, and now they're grown and they're.
Kingdom Reign Entertainment, which is founded by Carlos King, released an explosive mini trailer featuring many known gospel artists.
Okay.
As well as known individuals within the Christian community. Mm-hmm. Tasha Page.
Okay.
Elijah Connor. I don't know him. You know him? Shanna Wilson. You know her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know her?
Shauna Wilson.
Shauna Wilson. That's who's on there. Christian R&B singer Tasha Page is a winner of, we know her, right? Her right now, okay. Elijah Connor is an American pop singer and songwriter that has recently signed to Background Records. He's majorly known for starring on season 2 of Battle for Stardom on Fox with Diddy. Okay. Shauna Wilson is the youngest daughter of Bishop Samuel and the late Lady J. Wilson, who are founders and pastors, music ministry coordinator at Community Christian Fellowship Church. I don't know who that is. The King of Reality has given Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, which is back. You know that, right?
Okay, then we go watch it.
Bell Collective, and has executive produced 4 seasons of Bravo's The Real Housewives of Atlanta. King does not disappoint with his shows. So these are gospel artists.
Okay. Grown and Gospel is the name of the reality show.
He should have did it where Growing Up Gospel. The kids of gospel artists.
Okay.
Because he could have had Kurt Franklin's kids. What's her name?
Man's kids. The man.
Who?
The
Man's Tamla Man and them. It's a bunch of them.
There's some controversial kids out there too in the gospel world.
Okay, so we got Blue True said she lives in a suburb, well-to-do suburb. They don't want apartments. They want to keep their areas wealthy, but unfortunately, the way the economy is going, everyone doesn't have the finances to buy. I agree.
Wow.
SB said you have to be on a list. I worked with the person that lived on G.W. Bush Street in 2008. Her streets were closed off. That's the same as Obama.
Right.
True says, in the neighborhood I'm referencing, you even have to have a permit to park on the street. So I wouldn't want partners
I'm
there.
just questioning if he lives in a gated community, how much, if not, how much control does he have?
None. You saw how he went to the council meeting.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, the only reason why I put this
as it is, isn't it?
Is late. If you have not received your package, Dale and his mistrust, he's an idiot.
Not trust the voting machine, because that's not trusting a voting machine.
But he has the guy come out that looks. You know what? I disagree with you.
Weird that he's now saying this. Trump's turning back up, and we know because the government speaking about you don't trust the voting. The pillow though.
That's keeping them real. And play save character. Yeah, that's funny. Well, you know that's gonna piss people off that's Christians if she want to play a Christian and see how they just like somebody else. This woman actually, German police have issued an arrest warrant for Instagram.
But
the bizarre case dates back to August 16th of last year when a 23-year-old woman identified by German press as, what's her name? Shabaran? I don't know. Was found dead in a car.
Sharabin?
I don't know. Dead in a car in the city of whatever. Her body had been stabbed multiple times and her face was disfigured.
Oh, no.
At the time, police called her the victim of a violent crime, and several of her family members identified the body. The next day, however, police rolled back their statement, saying that after a forensic examination, they had massive doubts about the identity of the woman. The tips began to roll in that night. On August 17th, authorities arrested the woman who was initially named as having been killed on suspicion of homicide, as well as a 23-year-old man named whatever. These names I don't know. But she actually went on Instagram, right? And she wanted to fake her own death so her family would think she was dead.
Okay.
So she went on Instagram, looked for women that looked like her. Charlamagne said something about, they was talking about makeup or fashion or something. Mm-hmm. And the woman met up with her.
Oh, and her life was taken.
This
woman has some real bad mental issues.
Nobody, who does that?
And why would...
So that was a wasted kill. Oh, it was a waste of somebody's life. Now. Yes.
Wow. She needs to be in a psychiatric place, though.
And her boyfriend helped her. By making various promises, she tried to bring about meetings, which was initially unsuccessful. Veronica Gracier of the whatever state prosecutor's office said on Monday morning, according to The Guardian. However, police say that she eventually contacted a beauty blogger in a nearby town by the name of whatever, who agreed to meet her.
Aww.
She picked the lady up at her apartment the day of the murder, and in a stretch of woodland between their two towns was lured out the car, and they stabbed her to death.
That's sad.
Isn't that crazy?
But why would she disfigure her face if she's looking for somebody to look like her?
She was stabbed 50 times of the knife, and the face was completely disfigured.
Why would you do that, though? It's almost like you're taking the life of somebody who looks like you. No, and it almost like she went to another head area where she now disfigured her face. I thought she was looking for somebody that looks like her, that can kind of play her as the one that she died.
Beyond citing family problems, police have not clarified why the suspect wanted to fake her own death.
Because that, to me, I don't understand that. If I was to get into, like Criminal Minds show do, they try to get into the mind of the criminal. I'm thinking when you just said her search was to find somebody that looked like her. Why would you disfigure the face that looks like you?
Isn't that dumb?
Yeah, you wanted you to be passed away, or you know. Oh, that means she was really beyond.
So that was your donkey of the day.
Yeah, that was really that's a bad donkey.
That's a bad donkey. You usually like the ones that's silly.
Yeah, some of them are even kind of hideous.
That wasn't a silly donkey of the day.
That wasn't.
All right, so that's it. Okay. You have anything else?
That was it.
SB says she disfigured the face to throw them off. She's an idiot. Not thinking that they would look at her DNA.
Her blood, everything, which is different from that lady, I'm assuming. The one who did the...
Yeah.
Oh.
So, okay. All right. So that's it. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, y'all. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Always believe. Make sure you like the video more than anything. And subscribe to our new channel, Woods Relax Sleep Sounds, because we're trying to get that to 1,000 subscribers. Okay? And if y'all know of any stories, I know Wendy sent us some stories sometimes. If y'all know any stories, go ahead and send it to us. You can either inbox us or you can email it to us. You have our email on our page. And we can see if we'll look at it.
Okay.
All right, y'all?
All right.
And that was another Woods Report, y'all. Anybody say anything? Oh, peace out. True said peace out. Some of y'all think it's what is it? Delayed. So sometimes it'll come up after. But we still see what y'all say, even when it's off, y'all. All right, y'all. See you later.
I said